Hello there, Lake County Library. This is Christy Lewis at the Lakeport branch. Today I'm bringing to you a book haul of adult science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Before I tell you about them, I just want to let you know that you can order any of these books for free down below. There is a link to our library catalog. Many of them are also available on ebook and audiobook, and we have lots of other digital resources like classes and magazines and just all kinds of really cool stuff. So definitely check out our free stuff on our website. Now let's jump into the book haul. First we have Memories Legion by James S.A. Corey. This is in the Expanse series, which was made into a TV show, and this is a short stories set in the world of the Expanse. From Leviathan Wakes to Leviathan Falls, this series is supposed to have redefined science fiction, modern science fiction, so it seems like a pretty big deal. And this collection of short stories also includes a brand new novella that's set after the events of Leviathan Falls, and it includes the author's notes on each story. Let's talk about the stories. So one story is set on Mars, where a scientist is experimenting with a new engine that will one day become the drive that fuels humanity's journey into the stars. Another story is set on an asteroid station about a group of prisoners who are oblivious to a catastrophe that's coming their way. Another story is set on a future Earth, which is beset by overpopulation, pollution, and poverty, and a crime boss is trying to seek a way off the planet. So all these and more. I actually find that I prefer short fiction when it comes to science fiction because they're so idea driven. Sometimes science fiction just isn't about the characters or whatever. And usually I like reading a novel because of the characters. So if Memories Legion sounds good to you, you can order it for free down below. It's also available on ebook and it was published by Orbit in 2022. Next we have The Cartographers by Peng. And this book went through our library book club. Several of our library book club members have read this one and really enjoyed it. Some enjoyed the ending, some didn't, but everybody seemed to enjoy the ride. The Wall Street Journal says that this has echoes of Borges, Bradbury, and Pynchon, which tells me that it's maybe kind of experimental or literary, but apparently it's also perfect for fans of Joe Hill and V.E. Schwab. And the summary of the book calls it a thriller, so it sounds like it might just be very unusual. And this author has also written The Book of M, which was very popular, and it's about a young woman who discovers a strange map in the desk of her deceased father, and she finds out that it's a very valuable and rare map. And so while she's learning more about it, she ends up going on an adventure which reveals the truth about her family's dark past. And she also encounters somebody who has been hunting down every other copy of this map and destroying the copies. And if anybody gets in their way, they get rid of that person. So it sounds like a very dangerous adventure full of dark family secrets. So that sounds intriguing. And if it sounds intriguing to you, you can order it for free down below. The Cartographers is also available on ebook and audiobook and book on CD, and in large type. Next we have The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. BuzzFeed News called this one of the best debut fantasy novels of the year. And another reviewer said, it's epic fantasy at its most human and heartfelt, inventive, adventurous, and wonderfully written. So like BuzzFeed News said that this is a dark fantasy debut about a dark magic and a revolution among the islands of an empire, as well as the young heroine who is trying to claim her birthright to the throne that would rule all of these islands. Lynn is the daughter of a formerly powerful emperor whose rule is now failing. And as revolution sweeps through the islands, she's decided she's going to prove herself capable of ruling, because previously the emperor was not interested in having her take over. And she's going to prove herself by mastering a forbidden bone shard magic. If The Bone Shard Daughter sounds good to you, it is available for free down below. It's also available on ebook and audiobook, and it was published by Orbit in 2022. Next we have The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, and this is our adult horror. It's supposed to be kind of literary horror, and Chuck Wendig is the New York Times bestselling author of Wanderers. This book, The Book of Accidents, is a national bestseller and a Locus Award finalist. So Stephen Graham Jones, who wrote The Only Good Indians, says, I haven't felt this intensely since reading The Shining, which, if you know anything about horror, you will know about Stephen King's The Shining. So this is about a married couple named Nathan and Maddie who grew up in rural Pennsylvania when they were kids. And they both saw things that they really shouldn't have, things that really traumatized them as children. And now that they've moved back there with their young son, the same thing is happening to him that was happening to children in this town before. So the description said, something sinister is walking the tunnels, mountains, and coal mines, which really does sound sinister. I am so curious what's walking the coal mines. And the summary also mentions that there is a dark magic involved. So if the Book of Accidents sounds good to you, you can order for free down below. It's also available on ebook and audiobook, and it was published by Del Rey in 2021. Finally, our last book is Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton, and this is a science fiction novel about clones. It's described as The Martian meets Multiplicity, and it's a high concept science fiction thriller. We're following Mickey 7. Mickey 7 is an expendable, which means he's a clone. When his crew encounters a particularly difficult or dangerous task, they send Mickey in whatever iteration that he is, and if he dies, they just clone a new one. And there's like laws against there being more than one clone around at a time. So when Mickey 7 goes missing on one of his missions, but he actually survives and he comes back, he finds out that there's already been a clone of him made. There's now a Mickey 8, but he has to hide Mickey 8 because one or both of them will probably be sent to the protein recycler if it's found out that there is more than one of them. But there's something else happening as well beyond Mickey 7's journey, and that is that the native life forms on this planet that they are on are starting to become curious about their new neighbors. And I imagine it has something to do with the terraforming, because the terraforming is not going well. If Mickey 7 sounds good to you, you can order for free down below. It's also available on ebook and audiobook, and it was published by St. Martin's Press in 2022. That is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this book haul of speculative fiction. Let us know down below if any of these sound good or if you have any questions. We really love to hear from you. Okay, take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.